Awesome. So we are here with another Why Wednesday with Forest Financial and Culture Insurance. I am joined by Mia. And so Mia, you are just a font of wisdom. Font? I don't
A
know
fountain?
how to fountain of wisdom. So I appreciate you being available. These last few conversations, we've been actually, I'd say for this next month or so, we're really talking about attracting quality candidates. And so we're talking about first the aspect of why top talent chooses you. And we talked about consistency, authenticity, and transparency. Then we talked about beyond the paychecks,
Right.
providing not only incentives, but gamifying and also flexible work schedules and an alignment of mission and value and purpose. And
Mhm.
now we're talking about hiring, but not only hiring, but hiring quickly. Because oftentimes when there is a top quality candidate, there are other organizations that are looking for that top quality candidate, and likely that candidate is talking to other organizations as well. So
Exactly.
this is interesting because I actually do have some experience in recruiting, and then for yourself, obviously in
Mhm.
HR, being well versed in this, I would love to know from your perspective, what are some common mistakes companies make when they are trying to hire quickly?
Whew. Well, yeah, there's always, again, we said not a perfect world, but not having a comprehensive process for recruitment, right? And rushing the hiring phase can lead to headaches later for an employer, maybe heartbreaks too, who knows? But more like majority of the headache that happens because sometimes take it too hard in regards to all of that. But relying solely on resumes is a mistake because they are just a snapshot. They're a snapshot only and don't tell the full story. Right. So it's just like a teaser, like the sneak preview. And then candidates should be able to showcase what they bring to the table with specific examples in the interview. And I feel like having that comprehensive process in place for recruitment is definitely key.
That's helpful. I I appreciate that aspect of it. I think back though, when it comes to an employer that is looking to hire quickly and the aspect of balancing not only the speed but the quality in recruitment, is that possible? It sounds like from your perspective, if you do have a robust hiring process in place, that there can be a union between both speed and
Yes.
quality. Is that possible?
Oh yeah. I mean, hiring quickly to mark it off the list will lead to more work later, right? If the employee does not work out. Spending the time on the recruitment process saves time in the long run if you can avoid turnover. But as much as you are vetting the candidate, they are determining if they will also be a good fit for the company too. You're interviewing them, but they're interviewing you as well, making sure that you ask the right questions, right? Making sure that you know what you're looking for in a candidate. Right, we always tell a team, succession planning, understanding what you are looking for in a candidate, understanding what questions you should ask, right? Maybe there are certain questions that should not really need to be asked, and it's not something that you will really that will be helpful for you to be to make your decision as well. And sometimes it's also good to allow the candidate to ask questions because that would definitely you'll definitely be able to gauge whether that candidate is really interested, or is this really for them, or is it not for them? So, with the questions that they do ask.
It's a helpful reminder too for employers that, and I think what happened during, it seems like such a distant memory, but they talk about the Great Resignation,
Oh, yeah.
that it really put it into perspective that employees, candidates, really they're wanting to understand how this fits into their mission, vision, and values, which goes back to some of the
Yep.
previous videos that we had beforehand. But as
Mm-hmm.
you continue to drive home establishing a solid process around
Exactly.
recruitment, that circumvents it pretty
Exactly.
quickly. Any technology that we should be aware of or
Course.
anything to streamline that hiring process? Because I know oftentimes when you're looking through resumes, it could, to your point, it seems like a snapshot, but sometimes it feels like you're reading a
Yeah.
novel.
Back in the day, at least we were all on the same page with other industries, right? There was no
Right,
like a
right.
technology and AI. So, but now you have to kind of like, develop in technology as well as other companies continue to put technology and AI in place. That's the world we live in now. And, embrace that change rather than doing away with that change. So one thing is the applicant tracking system. I'm sure all of you are familiar with that, having just everything in one database, putting everything out there and then just shoots off. Back in the, I remember we would send advertisement on each job board every single time, and having to monitor and track each job board is time consuming, right? But having an applicant tracking system in place is definitely a lifesaver, not only a lifesaver, an applicant saver, I might say, or and a time saver as well, right? So it definitely reduces that manual work that we used to do. And it also speeds up the sourcing of candidates. If this is a good candidate, not a good candidate, with the use of AI, it can definitely identify any of those keywords and what we actually look for in a candidate. Prior, it's like, reading through each one, making sure that everything is being understood and you're not missing out anything. So utilizing AI and the technology to our advantage and to a good advantage would definitely is definitely key, and not abusing it, right? Yeah.
Key takeaways for me is number one, develop a more robust process when it comes to your recruiting. I would even say that that's foundational when it
Yeah.
comes to this aspect of attracting and recruiting in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And then secondly is obviously leveraging technology that's present and available in an ever changing world. But I think while technology does change and while there are new tools, seems like every week, I think when you stay true to the process that you have,
Yeah.
which is going to be a sneak peek for our conversation next week, but making sure that you're staying true and authentic to the values that you have, recruiting becomes a little bit more seamless. So I
Yes.
appreciate you sharing that, Mia, and I am excited to connect with you on the next one.
Wonderful. Me too.